Hey guys, so in this video we're going to be talking about the best way to take Tongkat Ali. So let's dive right in. Hey guys, welcome to Nutrition Library, your trusted resource for an evidence-based approach to supplementation. If you haven't already or you are new to the channel, do me a huge favor and hit that red subscribe button that's below this video so that you can stay up to date with all of our future content. Thank you so much. So in this video, we're going to be covering the 2 active compounds that are in Tongkat Ali that give it its medicinal properties. And then we're also going to talk about the 4 primary extracts that are currently on the market right now and the differences between those and why they affect dosing. And then of course, we're also going to talk about how to take each of those extracts. And at the end of this video, we're also going to be talking about the best time to take Tongkat Ali. So the 2 primary compounds that are found in Tongkat Ali seem to be the urapeptide content as well as the eurycomonones that are found in Tongkat Ali. And now these aren't the only compounds that are active in the plant. However, these are the 2 compounds that have been most directly linked to some of the medicinal properties and what we're going to focus on in this video in particular. So now when it comes to the libido enhancing effects of Tongkat Ali, these have been most directly linked to the urapeptide content of Tongkat Ali, whereas the potent anti-estrogen effects of Tongkat Ali have been linked to the eurycomonone content. And so the type of extract that you're going to be taking is going to be heavily dependent on the specific purpose that you're taking Tongkat Ali. And this is actually why I am so quickly becoming such a big fan of blood testing. And that is because, especially when you're taking an herb like this that is so potent in its effects on specific hormones in the body and actually rival some of the known pharmaceuticals that are taken for similar purposes, it's going to be extremely prudent to get something like a blood panel done in order to test your specific hormones so that when you're consuming a compound like this, you aren't just taking it willy-nilly. You actually kind of have quantitative data in your hands telling you what you should and should not be consuming for specific purposes. And so if this is something that you guys might be interested in, check out the link that's in my description. It's one of the best blood testing companies out there right now. And so again, this is something that I would highly recommend to anyone who is trying to optimize hormone production in the body. So now there are 4 primary extracts that are on the market currently. And the first extract that's heavily popular right now is an extract known as LJ100. And now LJ100 is marketed as a 100-to-1 extract, meaning that 1 gram of that extract is equal to roughly 100 grams of the dry root powder. And now LJ100 is specifically extracted for the urapeptide content and is actually extracted at a rate of roughly 22%. And so this makes it an obvious choice for anybody who is trying to enhance libido because of the fact that the urapeptide content is so high and has a very specific amount in it, and because of the urapeptide content being linked to increases in libido. Now, it is also a great option because it is also universally standardized, and this is fairly unique when it comes to LJ100 in comparison to the other extracts that are on the market. LJ100 is actually universally standardized, meaning that if you are to buy it in one country, you know that you are getting the exact same compound than if you were to buy it in another country. And so for instance, the LJ100 that I buy here in America is the exact same LJ100 that is bought in, say, Malaysia. And so for anyone who is looking for a very specific extract and wants to know exactly what they're getting and that they can trust the exact compounds that are in that extract, LJ100 is definitely going to be your best bet. Now, when it comes to the other 3 extracts that are currently on the market, they're all fairly similar in that they're all non-standardized extracts, meaning that you don't really know the specific content of the compounds compounds that are in these extracts. And so these 3 extracts would include a 20-to-1 extract, another 100-to-1 extract that's slightly different than the LJ100, which is also a 100-to-1 extract, but we'll talk about the differences between those here in a moment. And then there's also a 200-to-1 extract. Now, the downside, again, to all 3 of these extracts is that they're not standardized, and so you just simply don't know the exact amount of content of specific compounds that are in these extracts. And the reason for this is that when you put a herb or any plant or any compound for that matter through an extraction process, the specific extraction method that you use, whether that be an ethanol extraction or a hot water extraction, tends to bring out very specific compounds out of that herb. And so unless the manufacturer specifically describes and kind of puts on the label what they're extracting and the specific type of extraction method that they use in their extraction method, you don't really know exactly what's in it. And so again, this is the major downside to using these 3 extracts. Now, the upside to these 3 extracts is that there is a higher probability that they are a broad spectrum extract. And so again, whenever a manufacturer puts an herb through that extraction process, they're usually going for specific compounds that are in that herb. And so if a manufacturer isn't going for specific compounds and trying to get specific compounds out of it, it generally means that it's going to end up being a broad spectrum extract. And so the reason this is a positive and a good thing for these 3 extracts is that there is a higher probability that the Eurycoma content is higher in these 3 extracts. And so for anyone who is trying to decrease the effects of estrogen in the body, these 3 extracts are probably going to be your best bet. So with all of that being said, when it comes to dosing, there's one primary thing that you want to keep in mind here, and that is that when you are trying to dose Tongkat Ali properly, you need to know that you're going for an equivalent of 20 to 30 grams of the dry root powder. And this is based on the findings of a few researchers that found that the bioavailability of some of the compounds that are in Tongkat Ali tend to hover around the 10% mark. And so with this in mind, they roughly estimated that in order to get similar effects to the pharmaceutical compound tamoxifen, that it would roughly require 20 to 30 grams in order to equal the effects of that tamoxifen. And so this means that if you are consuming a 20-to-1 extract, that you would roughly need to consume 1 gram to 1.5 grams in order to equal that 20 to 30 gram mark. And so this generally isn't a problem if you're consuming the 20-to-1 extract. However, my major issue with the 20-to-1 extract is that most supplement companies that use this extract far underdose the amount that they're putting in their supplement, which is why I tend to stay away from it. And that's simply because it's so difficult to get a clinical dose from the supplements that contain it. Now, if you are consuming one of the 100-to-1 extracts, whether that be the LJ100 or the 100-to-1 extract, you only need to consume 200 to 300 milligrams of that said extract in order to equal the 20 to 30 gram mark. And now again, if you are choosing between one of these 2 extracts, the main thing to keep in mind here is that if you are looking to increase libido, it's probably a better idea to go with the more expensive LJ100. However, if you are simply trying to optimize your health and optimize hormone levels in the body, the basic root extract here of that 100-to-1 extract is probably going to be your best bet. And now if you were taking the 200-to-1 extract, you actually only need 100 to 150 milligrams of the extract. And so the 200-to-1 extract is obviously the most potent extract that's available. However, I personally tend to stay away from it simply because when you have an extract that is that concentrated, of an extract, you tend to leave out some of the active compounds during the extraction process. And because I tend to like to consume compounds and extracts that are closest to their original form, this is why I stay away from the 201 extract. And so with all of that being said, I typically recommend sticking to one of the 100-to-1 extracts depending on your specific needs. And that's because it is a happy medium between being a high enough concentration to need a lower dosage, while also not being such a high concentration as to lose the proportions of active compounds that are in the extract versus the original root. Now, when it comes down to the best time of day to take Tongkat Ali, there's two things that you want to keep in mind here, and that is one, that estrogen typically peaks in the evening time, and so if you are taking Tongkat Ali in order to suppress the effects of estrogen and to kind of normalize hormone production to some degree, one of the best times to take Tongkat Ali is going to be in the evening time. Now, another good reason that it's best to take Tongkat Ali in the evening time is that it has been shown in at least one clinical trial that I'm aware of that Tongkat Ali has the capacity to suppress cortisol, which is one of your primary stress hormones. And so by taking compounds that are able to suppress cortisol and the adrenal output of cortisol in the evening time, it theoretically is supposed to increase sleep quality to some degree. And so there isn't any direct clinical research on Tongkat Ali's effects on sleep. However, because of these two reasons, these are why I typically recommend taking Tongkat Ali in the evening time. But other than that, guys, that's all I have for you today. If you have any questions about this specifically, please feel free to leave a comment down below. And don't forget that if you are taking Tongkat Ali in order to optimize hormone output, to make sure to at least consider getting a blood test done, a panel done on your testosterone, your cortisol, and your estrogen especially, before taking a compound like this. And so again, you can check out the description below for a link to a company that I highly trust and I think has one of the best products on the market when it comes to blood testing. But other than that, guys, that's all I have for you today. So if you have any comments, again, leave them down below and I will get back to you as soon as possible. And I will see you next time.